Hey, boys and girls, Mrs. Burkett here. I wanted to talk to you about your paper today. I need to get my sunblock thing up. My windows glares on our paper here real quick. Sorry about this. Yesterday, if you had joined the live math lesson, Google Meet math lesson, we talked about checking our subtraction, and I'd like to encourage all of you to do that today. Now, the way we check our subtraction is by adding up. So I'm going to write that right at the top of today's paper. Don't forget to put your name on it, right? That's the first thing we always do. Check by adding up. What do I mean by that? I'm going to draw an arrow. That means I start at the bottom. So our first problem, we had 47 minus 23. Let me see if I can get that a little clearer. It looks a little blurry to me, hopefully not to you guys. And we added the ones first, 7, or we subtracted, the ones first. 7 minus 3, or if I take 3 away from 7, I get 4. 4 minus 2, if I take 2 away from 4, I get 2. Now, how can I check and make sure that's correct? I'm going to start at the bottom and add up. So I'm going to rewrite it right here. I'm going to write my answer, 24, at the top. And then I'm going to write the subtrahend. That's a fancy word for the second number in a subtraction problem. I'm going to write it underneath just like it is, and I'm going to add. And if I can go back, 4 plus 3, and it equals 7, is that true? And 2 plus 2, and it equals 4, and that's true, then I know my answer is correct, okay? So I'm going to do a few more with you just to make sure you understand. So when we subtract 2 digits, we start in the ones place just like we did with 2-digit addition. 6 minus 3, or if I take 3 away from 6, 3 from 6, and I'm trying to use some good thinking vocabulary that we can have in our mind to help us think through it, would leave me with 3 left over or remaining, right? And then if I go to my tens place, 5 minus 2, or if I subtract 2 from 5, I am left with 3 again, right? So let me make sure my thinking was right. I'm going to check it by adding up. And what I mean by adding up is I start with my answer. I start at the bottom and I add up. Does 3 plus 3 equal 6? Does 3 plus 2 equal 5? Well, let me check it. I'm going to rewrite it. 33 plus 23. And I would get 3 plus 3 equals 6. 3 plus 2 equals 5. And when those answers match up, then I know I have subtracted correctly. So I hope you're getting the idea, and I'd like to encourage you to check your work. Now, some of you may be very fluent with your subtraction facts. I put together a little Jack Hartman slideshow for you to practice so we can get more fluent, okay? Again, I have 67 minus 36, so I'm going to subtract 36 from 67. I start in my ones place, 6 from 7. I take 6 away from 7, because subtraction is take away, I would be left with 1, right? And then if I subtract 3 from 6, 6 minus 3, I would be left with 3. Now I can check that by adding up. 1 plus 6 equals 7. That's correct, right? 3 plus 3 equals 6. That's correct. And if I write it down, now these problems may seem rather easy. It's like, Mrs. Burkett, I know my subtraction's correct. I don't need to do that. But as we get into bigger numbers and more difficult numbers and regrouping, borrowing next week, you may find this strategy of checking your thinking very, very helpful. And I know as you go on up into 3rd and 4th and 5th grade, you will definitely find it helpful. So let's just double check, make sure our answer is correct. How can I check my thinking? I can add up the answer. The difference is what the answer is often called in a subtraction problem, plus the subtrahend gives me, in the top number, you want to hear this silly word, minuend. I don't know the history behind those words, but those are the words that I learned when I learned subtraction as a little girl. So 1 plus 6, does it equal 7? It sure does. 3 plus 3, does it equal 6? It sure does. Does 67 and that match? It sure does. So I've checked. My answer is correct. I wish you all were in the classroom and I would have every one of you talk our class through one of the problems. Do the subtraction step by step, talking to us about how you're thinking, the words you're using to think through it, subtract, minus, take away, from, okay? So good luck, boys and girls. I know you're going to do a great job practicing, so you're ready to do an awesome job on our little test on Friday on 2-digit subtraction without regrouping. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.